Hello and welcome to the Trish Rock Inspires podcast, where we explore spirituality, intuition, and life so that you can learn a different and greater perspective on who you are, why you are here, and find more meaning and purpose in your life. Please like, share, and subscribe wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts. But now, sit back and enjoy this episode. Hello and welcome to this episode of Trish Rock Inspires. And today I have the amazing Jo Worthy with me, and we are live together.
Hello, and thank you, Trish, for having me. It's great to be here.
It's a little bit different than Zoom, isn't it?
It's so nice, though, face to face rather than Zoom, I think.
Yeah, it is. So if you're watching on YouTube, obviously you're seeing us. If you're listening to the podcast, wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts, we are actually sitting on the couch together. All right, so this is series 6 of my podcast, and this one is called Sparking Your Spirit. And this is a perfect topic for us today, and you'll find out soon why that is. All right, Jo Worthy is an author and a speaker specialising in women's empowerment. Jo is also the founder of the Worthy Women Movement, and she is passionate about helping female entrepreneurs over 40 rise in their creativity, visibility, self-care, and feminine leadership. This is done by providing writing and speaking opportunities through a yearly Women's Rise conference, online summits, speaker hub memberships, and co-author book programs. Jo also helps these women to prioritise their self-care by providing a yearly 7-day Bali Bliss Retreat. That's a combination of pleasure, bliss, fun, cultural healing, and adventure. Jo's motto is, "Here's to all women rising into their absolute greatness by striving towards their greatest potential." Yay! And you do absolutely do all of that. We've been friends for a lot of years now. Is it 13?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be even longer than that.
Yeah. What a journey it's been.
It's been a big journey, and we're both in very different spots now than we were 13 years ago, but one of the common themes that's always been in your life and mine, but we're talking about you today, is that you do what sparks your spirit, always.
Yes.
Always.
Absolutely. And I think that it changes your life when you get that. And I suppose that spark your spirit, feel reignited, however you want to express it. It's just this incredible feeling when you know your mission and your purpose, and you listen and you follow it.
Yeah. And it's really that fire within, isn't it? Which so many people don't follow. And you and I both have clients that are like, I don't know what's wrong, but I don't feel good. And I'm like, oh, well, are you following your passion? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Do that then, because it will make a big difference. And I think, being the role model for that, being the leader in that, helps other people also see their potential.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know over the years, people have often said to me, "Oh, Trish, you're so brave. You just want to do something and you go and do it."
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you that if I don't do it, the fear is worse. The fear of staying where I am and not doing it is worse than the fear of actually moving forward. And I think you're the same.
Exactly. And, I think anyone in business, whether it be daily, hourly, weekly, we are stepping into our courage. And we need, if we want to grow and expand, not just as a person, but in our business, we need to be stepping into our courage. And I'm big about courage. Yes. And feeling that fear and doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And even when it scares you so much, it's just like, we just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And the more, and I believe the more that we do it, the more confident we become. Yeah. So the courage and the confidence works hand in hand. And that's where a lot of women don't feel confident. And it's like, well, you can do as many affirmations, which I do believe in as well, but you've got to do the do. Yes. You've got to put the action in and just put on those brave girl pants.
Exactly.
And just do it.
Yeah. actions. You've got to take the actions.
And I think that's what also helps spark your spirit.
Yes.
Because you're actually stepping into your courage, and it sort of reignites you because you feel this sense of achievement and pride when you do things particularly that are completely out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. I think that's one of the big things you help women with, because for the women watching this that are saying, oh, but I want to do this, and their head gets 20 steps ahead and they're like, oh, but I can't do that. But you can do that first step, and that's one of the big ways you help women. You get together with them and you see their bigger vision or what's sparking their joy.
Yes.
And then really create a beautiful plan for them to say, well, gently, let's do this step first, or let's do this. I mean, you've got people who've never written a thing in their life who are now authors.
Exactly.
Right? They wouldn't have done that without your help.
Yeah, and that sparks your spirit when it's just bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's great that we're doing it and we're both authors and being in collaborative books ourselves, but to actually help mentor other women, and I say women because I only work with women, and you're right, like some of them have never written anything. And they've really stepped into their courage, and they are so proud that they become a published author. Yeah. And that sparks my spirit. Yeah. To actually know that I think that each and every one of us can make a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
And help other people. And that's what life's about, is helping others to get where we've got and beyond even.
Yeah. And that would have taken like maybe 20 small steps to get them there.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you are watching this and you're thinking, oh, that sounds great and I'd love to do all these things that Jo's about to talk about, but I'm too scared, you absolutely get led there by just the next small step or the next small step. And I don't know, a lot of women are probably the same as me. After about the third or fourth little thing forward, it's not as scary.
No.
You start getting excited.
Yes.
Like, oh, well, I did that. Oh, well, I can do this now.
Yes, and that's what I mean by stepping more into your courage. And I think that's one of the keys to sparking your spirit, is to keep stepping into your courage, because it will reignite something within you.
Yeah.
And it will keep you going. And then you step further into your courage, so it sort of starts this beautiful energetic reaction.
Yes, and flow.
To be more courageous and then become more confident.
And with all of that, you never know where you're going to end up.
That's right.
Because sometimes you think, oh, well, if I do this, it's going to end up there. But opportunities kind of come in and you end up other places as well.
And sometimes we just need to listen, but then surrender and trust.
Yeah.
I did a lot of trusting and a lot of surrendering. And I think that, you know, most of us in business have done a lot of that.
I think you just have to. But it's hard, especially if you're creative like I am.
Yeah.
It's very hard to sit back and not create something. And that's where I've been the last month or so as well. It's like, I mean, I'm creating this, but, you know, it's like, oh, my mind is going all the time. It's like, oh, I could do that. No, just step back, Trish. You don't need to create anything at the moment.
And it's sort of like, I'm going through something similar. Like, I've had to slow down a little bit, but then I realised we go through cycles, right? And this is a cycle where I'm not being as creative, but I'm actually really working out what's important and really stabilising the whole foundations and making them even stronger than what they already are, and working out, you know, where my priorities really are, rather than being scattered onto the next thing.
Yeah, and that's important.
Yeah, extremely.
Yeah.
Because I think our spirit can become overwhelmed if we've got our fingers in too many pies, which sort of stops us from getting excited, because then we get into that overwhelm. So I've had to learn, because being extremely creative as well and always wanting to create something. And I am writing a book, but very mildly in the background. It's time, there's just like this cycle for some of us just to stabilise what we've already got.
Yeah. But keep dreaming in your mind.
Yeah.
Keep imagining what life could be like if you know, were there in that vision. But yeah, there is those times as well. And that is also something you would help your women with as well, if they get overwhelmed with things. It's like, okay, let's take a step back. And because that overwhelm is a dream killer. It really is. It's
absolutely.
I've seen it in my life. I know you've seen it in your life. And if you're watching this and you're feeling the same, then you've experienced it, but it doesn't have to be that way, because you need to just silence what's not important right now. And overwhelm can also be a self-sabotage.
Absolutely. And it's getting out of our head and coming back to our heart.
Yes.
And remembering what brings us joy.
Yes.
And what our true path is, and staying focused on that, rather than going out into all different directions or doing the whole comparison or getting into that imposter syndrome, which a lot of us have been through as well.
Exactly.
But staying really, really focused. I call it like the eye of the tiger.
Yes.
And don't let anyone or anything take you off your path.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's one thing I've been really proud of the last few years, and I've remained just in my lane.
Yes, you have. You've been very eye of the tiger.
I love that song, actually.
And you know, when you're leading your groups of women through the different programs that you've got, I know the group dynamics usually mean people are experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's no coincidence, is it?
No.
That you bring these groups of women where they all feel this sense of beautiful acceptance and belonging, and the fact that they're not alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's easy to kind of be a bit more vulnerable there and just say, oh, well, you know, I'm feeling this today, and having that group of people there really supporting you and saying, that's okay, let's work through it, or you know, let's not. Let's just put that aside and let's do something that brings you joy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you do a lot of things. What should we talk about first?
With what I'm doing with the movement?
Yes.
Yes. So with the Worthy Women movement, it's all about women really stepping into their creativity. So I'm working with some great authors at the moment, and a new book will be published at the end of the year, which is Rising into Greatness. I was very fortunate of March of this year to actually publish the first anthology that I worked on, and that was Rising into Worth, Wealth and Wisdom.
Yes.
And this one is Rising into Greatness. So there's an overall theme within the movement of women rising into their greatness. And that's going to mean different things to different people. But more specifically with the work that I really offer, it's really helping women with their creativity, writing. It's either helping them with their visibility. So I'm providing more platforms for women to speak. And that's what I'm also really passionate about, from the speaking and the writing. And let me tell you, there's so many women in business that are scared of visibility.
Oh yes.
And that's where writing and speaking can change your business dramatically, exponentially.
Yeah, and there are some really successful women out there who are scared to do a live video.
Yes, they are. They are.
It's incredible,
and that's about
true.
And that's where it comes back to the courage, just doing it anyway. Because I remember when I first started doing lives, and oh my goodness, I was so scared. And then speaking on stages, or even whether it be online or face to face, it was scary. But I just kept doing it. And in regards to the speaking, so I've got an online summit coming up. Where there's 12 speakers for the day, and they all get 20 minutes each. So that's another platform of how women can really step into their visibility. And that's coming up on the 20th of September, and that's a $47 event. So we can put the links, links below.
Yep, they'll all be there.
So that's the online summit, and I've also got one of the signature products of the Worthy Women movement, which is the Women Rise conference, and we've got the beautiful Trish here as one of the speakers.
Yes.
So that's coming up next April in Brisbane.
Yes.
Brisbane CBD on the 5th and the 6th of April. And that's an incredible 2 days. It's called a conference. But it's a whole experience of women coming together. There's the speakers, there's soulful performances, there's lucky door prizes. You know, it's a conference in the way that you actually come in and you register and you have your morning tea and your lunch and your afternoon tea, so it's fully catered for. It's in a beautiful venue, and it's just nourishment for your business, for your personal development, and for your heart, mind, body and soul. So you can check that out as well. So that's the Women Rise Conference, which is only a yearly event. So I've got those two events which really helping women to step into their visibility. The other thing that I do have, and you can grab your free copy of the Rise magazine as well via my website. And then I got the Bali Bliss.
Yes.
So I'm all really passionate about women really prioritising their self-care And that's really how we can step into our greatness.
Yeah.
It's actually when women stop, they need to sometimes slow down to speed up, and they need to feel nourished and well rested to really claim their power and to really step into that greatness. So 7 days. I've actually got one room left. It's actually in October.
It's coming up in October. It's coming up pretty quick.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that retreat, and the women love it. It's 7 days of bliss. Now, who wouldn't want 7 days of bliss? Where it's pleasure, it's fun, it's cultural, it's just an incredible experience. And you know, I love to pamper the women. So there's massages. There's 3 in-house massages. We go take the women off to the day spa. We do a beautiful sound healing at the Pyramids of Chi. They go off for a beautiful culture day where they get the water purification and the healing and the water blessing, of course, and the blessing from the priest. So that's a beautiful day as well, and just so many other things included, including food. I love food.
Yes.
So I take you to all the best restaurants and cafes in Ubud. And then on the last night, I actually take you for this beautiful beach experience. And we go and have cocktails and watch the sunset, and I take you to a really lush restaurant just to sort of do a beautiful farewell dinner.
Nice.
And women just go home feeling really restored, and we're talking about spark, get their spark back and reignited and feel really well rested. Yeah. And it sort of gives them that time to think about what's really important and what will bring them joy and what will just re-energize them.
Re-energize, exactly. I haven't been on Jo's retreat, but I know that she will absolutely look after you.
I will.
You will get the best treatments, the best food, and the best of everything when Jo's looking after you. And it's fully support, like full support as well.
Yeah, like we do our sacred circles every morning, so women can come together. And I only, it's an intimate retreat. There's only a few women going. And where we can really just explore how we're feeling. There was some work, like I workshop a few things as well. Yeah. But it's just, women just love it because they just feel so nourished. And it's funny because I started going to retreats 40 years ago. I was very young.
It would have been a bit different.
And I just became this retreat junkie, and I love retreats so much that I decided to run my own. Yeah. And that's one of my sweet spots. I'm really, really passionate about women feeling nourished and pampered and really prioritising their self-care. And I think that whether you go to my retreat, because they do book out quite quickly because it's quite a small retreat, go to somebody else's retreat where you just shut off completely. And everything's planned and you don't have to think about anything. Well, you're just thinking, when's my next massage? What restaurant are we going to? What time do I have to get out of bed?
Exactly. So that's coming up in October.
Yes.
So that's really good. And then we've got, when's your online summit?
The online summit is the 20th of September.
That's coming up soon.
That's coming up. That's an all-day summit.
Beautiful.
And we've got some great speakers and there's lucky door prizes. I try and emulate the online summit is close to the live event. Yeah. So we do the lucky door prizes. We have some music as well and fun. Anything that I sort of create, I want to bring in fun as well. Yeah. I really do. And really a lot of diversity with the women and what they're speaking about. The one actually on the 20th of September, its theme is self-care. So it's related to self-care. So the last one was about courage. This one's about self-care.
And can people still enrol to speak at that, or you're just looking for people to come to this to be the audience?
Yeah, they can't enrol to speak, but definitely come in and join the movement as well. Yes. Because predominantly 95% of my speakers are actually in the movement. Yes. Yeah, and women that I know and women I've connected with.
Yeah, perfect. Well, the speakers and the topics and what you learn at the in-person event at the conference is amazing. It's not just, the same thing over the whole 2 days. There's an amazing array of different speakers. So I imagine the summit would be just as powerful, if not more, because you've got more people speaking.
Yeah. So, and I just think that, you hear that saying, when women come together, magic happens. Well, that's not necessarily so. It's when you come into a beautiful, sacred space where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted and you feel like you can just be yourself. That's when the magic happens.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. And are you still, actually, if people just go to your website, which is the Worthy Women, I've got it here.
Worthy Women Movement.
Worthy Women Movement.
That's it.
Everything's there, the Rise magazine, the retreat, the ultimate VIP speaker package, to become an expert speaker. If you're looking at speaking, Joe can definitely help you with that. The annual Women Rise conference and Rise in Your Self-Care online summit, which is on the 20th.
Yes.
There's lots of things, and it's actually just a really lovely website too, to go and have a look around. It'll make you feel good just looking at all the people. Plus it's pink.
Yeah, there's a lot of pink. There's a lot of pink. I've added a bit of blue as well because of the speaking and bringing in both the components of the male energy, the masculine energy and the feminine energy. And that's what I do, bring a lot of femininity into my events, but it's really important too that we actually claim that masculine part of us, and that helps us to actually drives us to get things done.
Oh, you need both, and I think that's one of the changes at the moment over the last couple of years, but this year in particular, is that universal shift in energy where we need both. And
definitely.
I think it's not about being, driven, do from that masculine point of view, but then you can't be the other way as well, as you said before. You can't just be, all feminine and sitting down meditating and expecting stuff to happen.
It doesn't.
You have to have a bit of both.
And I must admit, I joke about that because I think I've been in business 11 years, and I think I'm probably slightly exaggerating, but for those first 5 years I felt like I was so in my feminine, floating around in goddess dresses and being really in my feminine, but not getting much done.
Nothing.
Thinking you're really busy,
not achieving
so
anything.
it's really, and I know, and I don't teach what I haven't experienced myself. That's why when I brought in the masculine side, and the action and the boldness and the courage, that's when your business will expand in such beautiful ways and feel in so much more flow as well.
And some people are the opposite too. I was in masculine
and not the feminine.
Do. And that's why I just had this yearning to create, and I guess I was in the right industry to create, but I was still very driven.
Yes.
But a lot of the times we're driven by old fears. we're not driven by anything else except fear of rejection or all the other fears that come up. So when there's that beautiful balance, and of course when I first tuned into my intuition, and you've got a lot of ladies who join you who are just starting their spiritual journey. Yeah. When I first tuned into it, I didn't feel credible, like I had no credentials to prove that I could do this, and this, and so then there was that masculine kind of, I better go and do and learn.
Yeah, and then you can overdo it, and you can burn yourself out.
Overdo it, and you get burnt out, and it just makes it less fun. And I think there's that real, the feminine is the creative flow, intuitive, caring, loving,
compassionate,
and then you mix that with action and doing, and that's
get that happy dance and that beautiful synergy.
But then you get some results in your life.
Oh, absolutely, much more results. Absolutely.
Without the burnout and feeling a lot better.
And I talk a lot about rejection because that's one of our. It's it's a human need to feel accepted, right?
Yes.
And I always say the way you can flip that around is that if you feel rejected, it's sort of like the universe is aligning you. Like say you feel rejected by a particular person, it's like you're not aligning with them. They're either not aligning with your energy or vice versa. And it's like the universe is aligning you with the right people. Yes. So don't see it as a bad thing. See it as the universe stepping in, or this beautiful universal power stepping in to help you align with the right people. Yeah. And once we get over the fear of rejection, once we get over the fear of not being liked,
it's a big one.
We can step up on stages, we can write books, we can write chapters, and we can really feel our spirit spark, really reignited. Yeah, and that beautiful spark.
Exactly. And you've got a great range and a diverse group of people that come and work with you. So no matter what it is that you're passionate about, Joe can certainly help, and you will fit in beautifully no matter what it is you're creating, because I know all the women are creating something different.
Yes, and that's the beauty. And when I talk about rising into your greatness, every single person has greatness within them.
Absolutely.
It's just allowing yourself to reach in for those parts of yourself that you've neglected, those parts of yourself that you've forgotten about, and understanding that we're all unique and we have all unique gifts. And that we don't, and then that stops the comparison.
Because
as well.
Because a lot of us ultimately have the similar purpose in the end. It's like, I want women to feel this, but we all have a different way of
different energy
taking people there. And that's something I learned a long time ago. Even if you and I were doing exactly the same thing, we would have different energy in it and be different. So,
well, we're both speakers, we're both authors, we both empower women, but we both have different energies.
And we bring in different energy.
And different skill sets as well, similarities. And that's why I'm so passionate about the We the Women movement, because there's lots of coaches, there's lots of authors, there's lots of speakers and healers, but we've all got our own unique talents and gifts and energy. Energy being the most
and I think that's
key.
And that's one of the beautiful themes that run through all of your events.
And that women do come in and they said to me, look, I didn't know anyone, but I had the best weekend because I felt so accepted. And I felt like I could just be me. And that's like music to my ears when women say that, because that's what I want. I want each woman to feel accepted and a sense of belonging. And that connection and that collaboration and that celebration is so important, that when women come together, they do feel that energy.
Beautiful. Well, that's been amazing. So in the description, I'll have all of Jo's, I'll have the link to the website and her social media stuff. So please connect and get along to one of Jo's events, and I'll have those listed as well. Anything you'd like to say before we finish up?
Just a here's to you, rising in your creativity and your visibility, following your divine mission, and really stepping into your beautiful feminine and masculine power to create whatever you desire.
Perfect. Well, it's been fantastic filming this episode on your couch. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for tuning in to this episode, and look forward to seeing you the next time.
Thanks, Trish. Thank you, everyone.